Hi, it's Michael from Culture Talk and Tours, and I am here today at the Mexican Trade and Culture Office in Taipei City, Taipei, for the group show Our Second Home. And I have been invited to show in this group show, and we're going to meet the other artists. This is my display. It's called Control and Protection. It's a group of my prints all put together that has the message, is it control, is it protection? Have a look. Hi, it's Michael, and I am back here at the Second Home opening. We're here with one of the Mexican artists. This is Zavala. Zavala. Thanks for taking time to talk with us.
Thank you.
Now, we met the other day, and then we had this postponed by the typhoon, so we had dinner last night.
But finally, we're here.
We're here, and her work is really interesting, really cool. Can you explain a little bit to us?
Yeah, these four pieces talk about how people connect when they look at each other's eyes.
Okay.
So in this piece, I draw the look of different people that I have met here in Taiwan for the past 4 years. And these are also mechanical animations of how these people can look at each other.
And how their expressions change.
And I think when we look at each other, a lot of things can happen from there.
Yes.
Like when we meet someone new and we have the willing to know someone else,
Right.
a lot of things can go from there. But sometimes it's interesting because sometimes you're in the same place with the same people, but you never meet.
Right.
You never look at each other.
Yeah,
You never had that connection.
Right.
So, for example, here we're just like flipping the boxes, but maybe they will never meet.
Right. They're
Right?
not looking. They're not looking at each other.
Yeah.
And you were explaining to us the other day when you were hanging this that you draw some of it and then some of it's on computer.
Yeah. This one especially are made in Procreate because I need to measure all of the different drawings so the animation can flow smoothly.
Right.
But for example, this one were made by hand and I cleaned them, and these are prints. All of these are prints.
Okay.
But yeah, here we can see the different layers of the animation. How they can from this one they can move to this frame.
And just to see how you've printed on the front and the back, it's just it's mind-boggling to see it actually come together. But it's quite interesting. And we were talking at dinner yesterday about postcards, and if you know me, I almost bought 2 today at the Fine Arts Museum, but I had to stop myself. And then you've got this display here, which I think is wonderful.
Yeah, this piece in particular is about my experience living here in Taiwan, and especially the area where I was living. This is the Taipei MRT.
Right.
These are the lines of the Taipei MRT, and these are the places and the people that I have met, and they have a special meaning for me.
Right.
And this is a friend of mine. Now it's my friend, but when I draw her, she was. I didn't know her before.
Right.
Then I asked her if I could draw her,
Right.
and she said yes.
Right.
And then now we're friends.
Okay.
So I this one. This piece was especially how I meet with other people.
Right.
How,
Is this you
one
there?
Yes, this one is me.
Oh, okay. So that's you. And
Yeah.
this is the person. So these are all people that you met and places that you've been to in Taipei.
Yeah, places that have a special meaning for me.
Cool. And we're close to this right
Yeah,
here,
this
Taipei
is a,
101.
this is a view from the Shansan mountain.
Right,
And this one is from Yanmingshan.
right,
And actually, this one is a building that is very close to here.
right. Oh, so you've got all the messages. We went hiking. We went to
Tamshui together.
together. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we shared dinner.
Right.
I saw these people walking in the street, especially in the park.
Right.
Just special moments that
Wonderful.
have a special meaning for me.
Yes. And then this area here, you've
Yeah.
got a little mailbox, and then you're asking people they can.
They can mail. They can write a message to somebody. And at end of September 1st, I will collect all of the postcards and I will mail them. So they have a connection with somebody that couldn't be here, or maybe it's not. That person won't come to Taiwan, but the purpose of this is that people can share their memories from Taiwan to other places.
Yeah, wonderful.
And once you write your message, you can put it in the mailbox.
And you've made all of these as well.
Yeah, these are prints as well, but these pictures are the same that are around my map, around
Okay.
Taipei map.
So you sketched it and then you cleaned it up on the.
Right.
Yeah.
That's in my sketchbook. All of these drawings are in my sketchbook.
Yeah, so it's just a wonderful idea. And again, we're just getting to know each other, but I'm all about postcards. I've always sent postcards. So I think it's a nice thing, and it's also nice when you get mail that's not a bill.
Right.
It brings you joy,
Yeah.
you know? And so that I think is an important message, that if you go somewhere and you see something, you want to share it with people.
Right.
You want to say, hey, someday maybe you can come and see this.
Right.
It's not kind of, this is what I'm doing, which I find sometimes Instagram is a little bit too, na, what don't you have?
Right. Yeah, this is for other people, like something that we do for other people.
Yeah, and just bring them joy. And I have a lot of people who I send postcards to, and the wife will look out the door and see her husband, my friend, reading it and just laughing or smiling. And that's what it's about, you know, sharing, because we are lucky to be here. So
We're very lucky, yes.
I think it's just such an interesting project, and
Thank you.
we were putting it up together. We were running out of hooks and everything, but we got it. We had a typhoon, but we got it.
We made it.
We made it. So we're
Yeah.
just waiting for the other artists to come. Mar, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto.
And I hope that maybe one day my picture will be up there.
Yeah,
or maybe our-
in Mexico, in Mexico City.
Okay, sale. And or our dinner last night, we'll draw a picture from that,
Right.
you know, because we took a nice picture. Okay, let's go meet some other artists. Hi, it's Michael, and I am back with another artist. This is Marcos Monroy,
Hi, Michael.
and he's from Mexico. He's one of the artists in the Second Home show. We just talked to Mar. Marcos, can you tell us a little bit about your work?
Well, I do mixed media paintings, and I think for this exhibition, like the common denominator, it's
Yes.
like the Taiwanese newspaper that I use as a background.
Cool.
I really like how colorful it is, like the classified ads in the Taiwanese newspapers.
Right.
And and for me it was quite I found them like quite special. Maybe for a local it's like just a part of their daily life.
Right.
But for me, I felt like it's visually very stunning to see all these little squares full of characters, and so I decided to make them part of my artwork, and I use them as the background for portraits of people I've met in Taiwan, and somehow they left some impression, and they've been part of my experience here in Taiwan.
So then these are all from the newspaper. You're cutting them out.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a collage.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
It could be a collage.
Wow.
I would say it's more like a how you call this?
Like a wallpaper?
Like a wallpaper.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will say it's like a wallpaper.
Because they're quite large canvases. And also, we met Marcos when we were hanging the show, and then again we met at dinner last night because we were postponed because of this typhoon. But when I saw them, and then you had to go because we were out of hooks again, but I thought it was just so cool because I think that is something what is true about this whole idea of second home. There's things that we see that we find beautiful. Mar was just talking about going places and meeting people, but maybe in your daily life in Mexico, something that an outsider would find interesting, we don't. Like when I lived in Mexico, I loved the bullfighting posters, so I'd keep all of those, and like all the vecinos were like, "¿Qué te pasas, güero?" Like it's basura. But I just thought it was so cool. So I'm on the same wavelength with you, where this is very, it's a character, but it's also a picture. Now, all of these people here, did they pose for this, or is it sketches you did beforehand?
Yeah, they kind of pose for my artwork.
Okay.
I always try to take an original picture
Right.
and then I do the sketch
Okay.
based on that picture. Yeah.
So is this sketched on first and then you paint, or is it just you're just trying to free painting it on?
No, I do sketch on the canvas like
Okay.
with pencil,
Right.
and then I put the painting like acrylics.
And now, are you working on one piece at a time, or?
Yeah, I work one piece at a time, and right now I'm switching more to landscapes. I'm using also like newspapers as a
Cool.
background, but now I'm experimenting with landscape.
Okay, so these ones, you've got to cut this out, you glue it on, you let it dry. Do you already know what you want to do with it, or?
Sometimes I know what I want to do, and sometimes I just stare at the
empty.
at the canvas and
Yeah.
the empty
Start answering the
wallpaper,
ads.
and
Yeah,
and
rent a
I just
truck.
I just stare at it until I get the inspiration until the
Inspiration to
muse
do it.
appears.
Okay, and then you've added these blocks of colors as well,
Yeah.
just to kind of balance it out.
Yeah, somehow I feel like there's a grid and there's some patterns.
Yeah.
And the squares. I think I'm a graphic designer, so I feel like I'm always working with grids, and so
Yeah.
I feel like it's also a little part of my artwork. And so yeah, I like how the newspaper is also establishing some of the movements. So I start like filling some of the squares of the ads
Right.
with painting with painting. So.
And then you could just do a collage and then that could be it. But you're doing the painting on top of it as well, because this is quite meticulous to do. So you have this one here with Taipei 101, and it's quite interesting because you've got a lot of shading on the face, so you can tell about the woman's face, but you can still see, and the collarbone you can still see. And then I like how then some places it's very kind of blocked out. So this area here, you're not seeing any of the newsprint underneath.
Yeah, that was my intention. Play with this very strong plain the colors, but
Right.
also having like this transparent. So I think that the game between something more cartoonish and rough,
Yeah.
and sloppy painting with the detail light and shadows of the face. I really liked it.
Yeah, no, it's quite.
There's some transparency.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like.
quite. It's very interesting to still see the text, but then still see the detail.
Mm.
And we've been saying this a lot about. We just did art Taichung a couple weeks ago, like art that you can get, but years later you're still looking at it. Like I think there's little details that I'm seeing today that I didn't see the other day. So I quite enjoy that. And then this third piece here, this is another one, and this is different because it's very kind of blocked on the color.
Yeah, this was my first painting with this kind of style.
Right.
And I was just experimenting, and I really loved the result. But
Yeah.
I had no. I kind of have some ideas. Okay, I want to do a portrait. I want to just have a lot of color, and I'm not sure how it's gonna look, but I'm gonna try it. And I really like that.
Yeah.
And I've been learning since the first one, and the other one is the one in the right is the second one. And I've been learning. Okay, this color works.
Right.
This one has the newspapers in this one. It was kind of old, so it has a yellowish
Right.
color, and so that's why I started playing with the yellows and the blues that they give you this high contrast.
Right.
And
Are you manipulating the colors anyway? This one has a lot of a blue tinge. Do you put a little?
yeah, for that one,
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this one has like a blue tint, but this
Right.
one is not. Doesn't have anything. It's just like the old paper gets this yellow
Yes,
color
in the sun.
with time with sun and time. Yeah.
Right.
And that's how I like it. And I didn't wanna use only the gray. The new newspaper is
Yeah.
so grayish, and
Yeah.
I kind of don't like that, so
No.
I just put some color on.
And I don't think you would find this in the West with so colorful for ads. I
Never,
think
yeah.
everything is all
grayish.
black and white now. And then you've got these two as well. Now this is a different kind of technique. This is
Oil pastels.
Oil pastel.
That's just a new technique I've been using. I kind of wanna. I felt a little bit stuck, like struggling with some creative like blockage.
Right.
So I decided to use a new technique and see how it goes. And I started using oil pastels, and I found it's quite fun, especially for landscapes.
right.
I loved it how it works like for landscapes. And I'm using also newspapers as a background.
It's
But
like
this time it's
the stock
the
exchange?
stock. I guess so. I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but I feel like it's the stock exchange,
Yeah.
and so you can see all the numbers behind the drawings.
Yeah. No, it's wonderful.
And so I like the idea of messing with something so serious as the stocks and the economics,
Right.
and just doing whatever I like on top of it, right?
Right.
And doing something more artistic and
Right.
and poetic than just see numbers and money and currency.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, and hopefully we'll meet the other artists as well. So it's such a fun mix. Now you've got another show happening in September,
That's right.
so we hope to be at that. We won't be part of that because I'm not from Mexico. I'm not from Latin America. I just snuck into this one, but it's wonderful work, Marcos. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations, and let's have a great opening.
First of all, it's very significant, very meaningful for us that you guys are here. We had, as you all know, the program to have this opening yesterday, but as you know, the Titan want us to do it. So the very fact that you're here one day after and with really what anyway becomes a very, very short notice is very, very significant. So to all of you, thank you very much for coming and for accompanying us in this modest but very, very significant ceremony. First of all, I would like to thank also the artists that are here presenting their works. One of them, and I'll mention them in strict alphabetical order, Raúl Gasque, is not here personally with us, but one of his works right over there is, and the reason why he's not here is because he decided to go back to Mexico after being here for 6 years and marrying a Taiwanese girl and taking her with him. And so he went back to his hometown in Yucatan in southeast Mexico. But the latest I heard from him is that he's missing Taiwan too much. So we might have him back in a not too distant future. So Raúl is there, and then Celina Hoyos, who happens to be my wife, as you all know, is the other one. All the Chinese ink painting that you see are her works. And then we have Marcos Monroy over here, who has this work displayed on this side. And then Zavala, that work right behind you guys over there. They're both, all three of them, from Mexico, including Raúl. So it's a work of Mexicans living in Taiwan, having living for some time, having producing in Taiwan, and each and every one of them has a very, very special story. All his work, as I understand, has been produced here. So it would be nice if, I don't know if they would like to say anything right now, but they're welcome to, but otherwise, I would encourage you to approach them and have their feedback. Last but not least, we have a set of works back there by Michael Clayton, who is not Mexican, but we've adopted him as Mexican. He's from Canada, a land that's also very significant for us because our daughter lives there, is married to a Canadian, and she has a Canadian baby. So Mike has lived in Mexico, has studied in Mexico, and contrary to what happened to the Mexican artists here, he produced those works mostly in Mexico, and they're Mexican inspired. So we thought that it would also be a very, very nice addition to have him, exhibiting here. And the whole initiative, the whole idea, the whole concept that is called, as you know, Our Second Home, is by Alejandra Sanchez, the curator here, the one that has gathered all these works and artists. And I would like to ask Ale to give some words and explain a little bit more the whole concept that we are trying to showcase here. Before we do that, I just want to again extend my high appreciation to all of you for being here. And as you know, we have something after we do this so that you can continue staying and admiring the works and having something to eat, and most especially something to drink. So thank you very much, and Alejandra, please.
Hello everyone, good evening. Thank you so much for coming, especially after having postponing our exhibition. So, first of all, I want to say thanks to Martin and the Mexican Trade Office for providing us the space and the opportunity to build this exhibition. So my curatorial concept is called Our Second Home, as we see in the title. And this whole idea started with the desire to share these stories. I'm very inspired by each of one of their stories of how they've come to Taiwan, not with just the idea to visit, but more like to set roots here and in a way connect to Taiwan and what's more poetic than doing that through art in a way that these artworks are, if you see around, are not only inspired from their own heritage but also are influenced by Taiwanese culture, which we hope as a takeaway from you. I hope that you, in a way, resonate with these artworks from your personal point of view. And yes, this whole exhibition is a testament of gratitude towards Taiwan for having us and like letting us, in a way, call Taiwan our second home. So thank you so much for coming and enjoy the evening.
Thanks for coming, and yeah, I'm really happy to, and I feel like it's an honor for me to share the space with very talented artists, and I'm always amazed of how warm is the Taiwanese people and how they embrace their culture, and for me it's like a little tribute to their spirit and their heart. So thank you Taiwan, thank you for Ale and everyone from the Cultural Trade Office for letting this space to express ourselves and also to have a more cultural event.
I just want to say a quick thank you to Mr. Torres and to Alejandra. I am Canadian, but I did study and live in Mexico, and you can see from my work I'm quite inspired by Mexico. So it is a real honor to be able to be included with these wonderful Mexican artists. And one of the best things about this show is how different everyone's work is. So again, thank you all for coming. I know it was the last minute, and thank you for having me to your party.
Well, thank you again, and thank you, Ale, and thank my husband who believes in me, you know. All my paintings are Chinese traditional paintings, and I take a little bit of Taiwan with me, you know. Yeah, I'm so proud to these young artists. Let me share my paintings with them because, you know, they have new ideas, but I think the traditional one is always be there, you know. But I love all the work that you have, and I'm so proud of you too, you know. Maybe I can be their mother, but I'm not. And congratulations, they are very good pieces. I love it. And but Alex is one of one who push us to be all together with this exhibition, Mexican and our step brother. And thank you, my husband, for believing me, and thank you for being here in the typhoon. Thank you very much.
I also want to thank you everybody for coming, and after the last notice because we opened today finally. And I want to thank you, Martin, for giving us this space. Thank you, Ale, for gathering us together. And thank you for sharing this space with me. And I also want to invite you all to write a postcard for someone that you love, if it's not here in Taipei or it's not here in Taiwan. And I prepared some postcards for everybody, and I will collect those postcards on September 1st, and I will mail them. So please, we share. I made this because I really like Taiwan, and I want to share Taiwan with everybody that want to hear, connect with everybody. Thank you.
muchas gracias. This is actually a step one because Ale, who is always so active and energetic, she's managed to get a very important space in the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial. So there will be a version of this, my second home exhibition, expanded to other Latin American artists that will be inaugurated in September. So for now, you're already invited. But this is like a big preview, okay? Keep it in your calendar, 15th of August, Tuesday, 2 p.m. And then you will hear about the Chiang Kai-shek exhibition in September. But for now, we're here. We want you to enjoy the rest of the evening, and please enjoy some bocadillos, some something to grab, to eat, and of course there's some wine over there. So welcome, help yourselves, y muchas gracias nuevamente for coming here. Yeah.
Hi, it's Michael, and I'm back with Celina Hoyos, the artist that we are last to visit with. Now, Celina is living here in Taiwan, and you were taking traditional Chinese painting lessons?
Yes, traditional brush painting lessons.
Okay,
yes.
and you just had a show. The show before this was your show.
3 before this.
3?
It's very funny story because when I met this lady, I started with my classes and I show my paintings and she saw it and she say, "Oh, you need to practice a lot."
Uh-oh.
I say, "Oh my gosh!" I say, "Yeah, okay, I'm going to practice a lot." So after 1 year, she called me and said, "Do you want to participate in international exhibition here in Kaohsiung?" And I was so afraid. Saying,
Right.
"Oh my gosh, no." I say, "How am I going to be next to a Taiwanese artist? You know
Right,
that they burn painting, you
Right.
know." And I was so scared. And talking with my Taiwanese friends here in Taipei, they say, "Don't worry, Celina, you have your own style. It's different. You know, you are not going to paint like a Taiwanese.
No.
Because you are not a Taiwanese.
Right.
But you have your Mexican style. So don't be afraid." And that's what I started to exhibit
Right.
my work.
And
you know?
relax a little bit.
Yes. The second was 2 years ago in Taoyuan.
Okay.
The same lady, Emma Lee, called me, say, "Celina, do you have new pieces of your paintings?" I said, "Yes, I have." "Well, we have an international exhibition in Taoyuan." And I said, "Oh, okay." I sent on the paintings.
Right.
And then Alejandra contacted me and she bought one of my paintings. It was the first paint that I saw.
Oh,
you know?
wow.
And for the Time Rider, I think it was
Yes.
the association.
Yes.
I was so happy
Right.
for that. And then Alejandra proposed us to do a solo for me.
Yes.
Because it's not the only thing that I do.
Yes.
No,
I know.
I do many things.
Yes.
You know, I'm all, you know. So I'm very bad with languages, I
Yeah.
say. You know, I live in USA for more than 10 years.
Yes.
And I never learned how to speak correctly, but I understand everything, you know.
Right.
My children, my husband, they speak like a locals,
Right.
but I'm not. I have a very strong accent. But
Está bien.
sí, but
American.
when I was living in Guatemala, it was the first post. I started to do a traditional
Yes, I saw
art
that.
there. You saw that?
Yeah,
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so when we came to put this up, your last show was here.
Yes.
So we will post photos of all the work because
Okay.
you had almost like embroidery.
Yes,
Yes. And then you had some piece from, was it Iran?
From Iran.
Iran.
Yes, terme. They
Yes.
put it. They use that kind of works from the weddings. Now
Yes.
they use it to do many things, but it's a very traditional.
Right.
You know, the people in Tehran, they very worried because now they are using machines
Right.
to do that. And
Yeah.
it's, you know, they
No,
are
loses
losing
it.
the
The culture.
traditional culture.
Yes.
Yes. And then when I live in Czech Republic,
Yes.
I learned to do sacro
The religious
art,
paintings.
religious
Yes.
painting, yes.
That was beautiful.
It was the icon from a Russian technique.
Yes.
You know, and it was very, very inspirational for me.
Yes.
So when I moved 6 years ago
Yes.
to Taiwan, I said, I'm very bad with languages. I'm never going to learn Mandarin. I tried 1 year.
Right.
1 year. Oh my God, it was so stressful. I have to study all day, and when I get out of the room, I forgot everything. I say, no. I need something else to learn the culture, the local culture.
Right.
What is the way to learn the local culture? First, you know the language.
Right.
The other, art.
Art. Wonderful.
Music too.
Yeah.
So I asked my Taiwanese friends, say, why you don't put a Chinese brush painting class? You know, do you want to do that? Say, yes, I want to learn painting, you know.
Right.
And say, well, you have to take 3 or 4 students, and with 5 we started the class. So this happened 3 years ago.
Right.
So
Buscando.
yeah, buscando. Because, you know, the people say, oh, I never can paint.
Right.
And when the people say, I never can sing,
Right.
you have to practice.
Right.
In the painting, you have to have the inspirations
Yes.
too. But you can do it. You work very hard every day. You know, I practice every day 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
And because this technique look easier, but it's very difficult.
Yes.
And you have to be very peaceful. You know, my table where I work is in front of my window, and I have in front of me a mountain,
Right.
all green.
Right.
So it made me peace.
Yes.
And I can start painting.
Right.
Sometimes it's not good. I have to do it again and again. That's what I told about that painting, you know, about
The big one.
yes. I told my friend from Slovakia, the wisteria is not good. I said, no, but it's good. No, it's not good. But I spent many times trying to do the koi, the fish, you know, the carpa, and I couldn't do it.
Right.
I couldn't do it. And one day I woke up, I sit and I painted, and it was okay, perfect. And I said, okay, the wisteria, I don't care. The fish is fine.
Right.
And I was very, very proud of myself.
Yeah, no, they're beautiful.
Yes.
And we just had a quick little speech to open the ceremony, and you said something quite interesting where, you know, you're with these different age artists, and they're doing very contemporary work, but the classic will always be here, and that really stuck with me because they're quite beautiful. And I wish we were here for your other show, but I will post some pictures because I did take some pictures.
But you know, I am very jealous about you.
¿Por qué?
Porque you have new ideas.
Yes.
You know, I'm very lazy because I do the traditional one. I know that they never lost this art, this kind of art. But you bring new ideas with the contemporary art.
Yes.
And I love it. You know, maybe I'm going to steal some of the ideas.
Yeah, bienvenidos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steal it.
You know, yeah.
Well, it's a wonderful show. And again, I'm so honored to be here as a Canadian, showing with all of you wonderful artists. And Martina's just been so helpful and generous with his time. So thank you so much. Felicidades. Está muy beautiful. I love it. And let's go see some more art.
trash. And I said like, oh, this is so colorful. Like I want to use it for my art. I picked it up from the trash. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I painted the newspaper and then I put another layer of blues. I wanted water is blue. And then I started adding some lights, yellow lights, to give them volume to their face. And some of the squares I started filling the squares, painting daylight. Oh, like the girl, like the model has like, she's very tall and she has like very long arms.
It's very transparent. So it's like it's like
Yeah, transparent.
yeah.
Like a ghost, very
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I like the combination of transparency, but also like the very solid shapes. And also, I use like different brands of painting. So this is very solid, but this is transparent.
Yes.
And I wanted to be this solid, but but the painting never got solid. As you can see.
Is it the same, right?
Yeah.
And you even like use it like the same
Match,
size,
yeah,
matching the
I matched the square.
the square. That's why, yeah. That's why he's an artist here now.
It's kind of the same thing here, like I really want to use transparency.
See, this is so interesting.
So one shade, one side, that's the transparent, but the other is solid. And I really love when like the sounds it's 101, and there's a part that is so yellow. So I try to represent that, but in a different way. Actually, like the transparent side of 101. Yeah, there's a like.
Yeah. Mona Lisa in Taipei.
Yeah, well, this is a very funny story because it's a portrait of my friend. She's a Brazilian girl and her name is Mona Lisa. Her real name. So I met a girl whose name is Mona Lisa. Okay, I'm a painter, I have to paint you, like, you know, it's like destiny, you know.
Right.
And yeah, so she used to be in Taipei, she left, but she was a model, she was doing model job. Yeah, like let's do a portrait of you now that you're here. And we used to live, she was my flatmate, we used to live together, and where we used to live, yeah, like you can see 101 from there, so that's why, put yourself next to the 101.
So we
Okay.
getting the parties.
Yeah, so I was in Senegal, yeah, it's so beautiful, right? Yeah, so I just did a lot of this, and then after I moved to Korea, then I lived in so this is all part of a big show. It's called Mexican Fashion. I had a show in our and so not so Mexican tradition, Korean
técnica de México y específicamente por dos obras que me llaman la atención, que es sobre la muerte. Uno que es la que es Siguiéndome,
Sí.
que me recuerda al Memento Mori,
Sí,
y esta de aquí que es Muerto de Miedo.
sí.
Si pudiera esas dos preguntas.
Ok.
La primera es su estancia en México,
Sí.
cómo aprendió esta técnica de grabado y sobre la muerte.
Ok. So yo fui a estudiar en San Miguel de Allende, en Guanajuato, y ya tuve clase de pintura, de grabado, de escultura, batik, hasta tejido también. Pero este de grabado me llama más atención. So tengo de linografía, este es como tiene una placa de lino. Y esta es litografía, que tiene una piedra, y pones el dibujo en la piedra. Y tengo también de woodcut, y este es de madera, y este es un relief print. So, ahí puedes buscar cuál te llama más atención, que te sientes más, y para mí es lino. Y por eso tengo este. Y este es como una instalación y tiene todo. Este es el centerpiece y todo el símbolo está afuera de este, en the middle. Sí. Y por la muerto de miedo, es como vives tu vida. Como siempre, no puedo hacer esto, no puedo hacer esto porque estoy muerto de miedo, o quieres vivir como quieres vivir. So es los dos faces de eso, ¿no? Que vas a vivir tu vida y un día no vas a estar aquí, pero también tienes que vivir con vida, ¿no? Porque mucha gente tiene miedo a esa, no puedo, o es como estoy worrying, it's like, no, yo quiero vivir mi vida. So, también puede ser que unas cosas que no puedes hacer o no quieres hacer es porque tienes miedo, como yo no quiero hacer bungee jumping o no quiero hacer skydiving, pero también estoy aquí, ya mandé un email al señor Torres, tengo esta arte de México y esto también me da miedo, pero tengo que push myself para hacer algo. So, por eso estoy bien orgulloso para estar aquí en esta exposición.
Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias, gracias, que me tome una foto. but the big project is the Mexico chapter, porque antes México yo fui a vivir en Corea, so ahora estoy haciendo un Corea project. So después yo quiero tener una exposición, sí, ya, so estoy it's not going to kill you, but then there's other things that maybe are overboard. Like I'm not going to go skydiving, I'm not going to your heart, but it's also the main thing, like your core beliefs, things that you believe in. And I just found that moving to a new country from Canada, everything was different, you know, from the language to, you know, we started going to misa on a Sunday, you know, and I'm Catholic, but I never would go like every Sunday, and your friends are going, so you just kind of get with it. So it's like what we were talking about dinner last night. You either adapt to where you are. We had dinner at their house last night.
Oh, really?
Because Alejandra heard of why you came to that country, and if you're like when I'm in Mexico, estoy con mexicanos, puro mexicanos.
Well, that's
Todos
nice.
mis amigos.
You are fully immersed.
Yeah,
in the
and
culture.
so when I go to Korea, all Koreans, and of course you have some friends that work, but I don't want to hear about like, oh, your taxi driver was so rude to you, or, you know, like, what did you have for breakfast, what did you see? And it's like, when I lived in Mexico, I was in Cholula, in Puebla.
I'm from Puebla.
No me digas.
Por supuesto.
Mira, Las Américas, yo fui a Las Américas.
¿De Leodla?
Sí,
Okay,
Leodla.
good.
Sí, soy niño fresa.
Yeah.
So when my friends from
Good,
Canada
yeah.
come to visit, my bus stop, we have a pyramid, we have Las Ruinas, and my friends would say, is that a pyramid? And I'd say, yeah, but you know, we were busy looking at the other pyramid, this one we didn't have time to dig up yet. And then I'm from Canada, so I grew up near Niagara Falls. So if you come to Niagara Falls, you'd be like, ay Miguel, no me digas. But I'd be like, yeah, put it there, you know,
it's
because
like,
you get used to it.
Yes, exactly.
So that's why I find this show is so interesting, because, you know, Marcos is using the newspaper
Yes.
to do his thing, and then Maud is meeting people and having special moments at special places. So I think you can only be a visitor, you know, and then other people look at the newspaper, it's just a newspaper. So, yeah. That's what this all came from. So yes, it is very deep. I can go as deep as you want.
I was asking Celina
See.
about the images that you are showcasing, and I was telling her that I had the idea that perhaps you had some kind of an influence from other places in Mexico, like Oaxaca or Chiapas,
See.
because you see like these kind of techniques or drawings in these places in
Yes.
Mexico.
Yeah. My because I started out as a painter.
Yeah.
And then I went to school in San Miguel de Allende in Guanajuato.
Yeah.
And so you have to take printmaking. I even took weaving, batik, cerámica, photo. Like, you know, I couldn't put it all in there because it sounds. But then I had my grabado, my printmaking process. So I called it like almost like hieroglyphics. So this is the main one. Just always be aware because also where I lived in Mexico, it's a lot of like San Miguel, tú sabes que es la gente mañana no está. So it's just being like you meet new people, but being aware like what are your intentions. If my intentions are pure, I just want to be nice to people. Torres, nice to meet you finally in person.
Finally, yes.
And I just want to say again, thank you so much for this opportunity because this is a group show of Mexican artists and my artwork is here, so thank you so much.
Well, as I mentioned, the brief introduction and modest introduction that we had, this is basically Mexican artists, yes, but you are adopted Mexican.
Yes.
You are definitely considered Mexican by us, and certainly your work is, I mean, you couldn't make it more Mexican. Actually, it's more evident where it is inspired from than the rest of the works by any of the Mexicans exhibiting here tonight. So for us, it's always very, very important to share
Yes.
with with the locals, with the people that at the place where we're being represented, to showcase the values and the traditions and the artists' works from Mexico. So for us, this represents Mexico very clearly.
Right.
I think you've learned the technique. I think you are somebody that can be proud of what he can share, representing Mexico and learning from Mexico and grabbing the Mexican culture and ancestry and transmitting it. So for me, ever since we made contact quite some time ago, I thought it was really worth exploring the possibility at one point or another to have you, and I'm glad that this came as a good opportunity by having a collective show that would exhibit the kind of work that you've done, the kind of work that you absorbed and you studied in Mexico. So it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Like I said, Mike, it's you are an adopted Mexican.
Soy mexicano.
And, you're Mexicano, and we take you as that, and we're proud. We're proud, and we have pride to showcase this in Mexico's home as something really showing the Mexican heritage and art.
Thank you so much. So we have kept the director. It's closing time. Thank you so much for your time. And that is our second home here at the trade office in Taipei City, Taiwan. We'll see you on the next episode.